This is an apple crepe for breakfast. And just a little bit of this. Sausage patty, sausage link, and a potato, hash brown. And then the usual coffees and orange juice. Sandy's up in line still getting her food. We'll see what she has when she gets back. One thing we found is that the sausages, both the links and the patties, taste a lot different in Europe. They're almost like a hamburger patty. They don't have all the salt and extra flavor enhancers and things added in. That's, I guess, tell you what we're gonna see probably for the next 4 months. Sandy has returned with our normal eggs, a muffin, and some bacon.
Yeah, they didn't have my favorite pork today.
That's sad.
That is sad.
But it seems like you got your other regulars. That's
Yeah.
good.
Just compare it. Zo die je nog gewoon steden had in de washing hands often.
Oh, that actually caught us.
Yeah.
And what else? They actually caught us again. Found us. That's our,
That's a one day that we ate where we were in front.
yeah. That's our table mates, Paul and Maria.
Oh, that pretty lady.
Pretty guy. That's the first night we met. Oh, look at that handsome smile.
Alright, let's get out of here.
A little slower.
That's the Orange Lounge. I don't think we've seen anybody in there, but they might go at night. It's like one of the special Holland America like club orange room.
Oh, they got orange glasses. Did you see it?
Yeah. There was a man in there, so maybe they do. Oh, whoa. Blue glasses. What the heck? That's their other color. Orange and blue. This is a bar here. We have seen people here and they have like drinking classes and samplings there. I've never seen an event in here.
Oh,
The piano's always been covered. Yeah, but we don't usually come out. There's an orange sofa.
The ocean bar.
The ocean bar. Reservation. We've seen people having a class here too, where they learned about different kinds of beer and stuff. Is this made with string?
Yeah.
Wow. Cool. String art. We got some shops down here, which we never buy anything from.
King.
The V King Lounge. We've seen people sing here. Usually really good. More shops. They have a sale for Rolexes and expensive watches.
Well, if you can talk about that, you gotta show it, you know?
You gotta show it. No, because then they're gonna ask me if I want to buy one. It's like a swan of horns. I didn't know there was bingo. How did we miss this?
Bingo.
Okay. 062.
That's the guy who does the trivia. Oh yeah. Nice.
N37.
We didn't go to any of the art auctions this time because we know we can't
071.
carry it with us.
072. Two away. Two away. That is all.
We're almost to the library. Here's the rock
069.
room. Different performers go in here every day. Now, right by the library.
I'm returning my books.
She's not stealing this time. First time ever.
Most of it. Kind of mean.
They don't have one of those fancy book returns like they did at that other library. Yeah. Oh, there's the evidence.
Amazing. So, chef, do you know how many pallets of food we bring on?
Oh, the pallets, okay. So if you count the pallets, then I would say for normally around like a 10 days cruise, we bring around like 90 pallets.
Okay, chef, how much flour do you think we bring on?
Probably a ton.
A ton, yes, that's correct. A ton. Okay, let's do another, and let's get our friends here involved, and you can all play along, and it will be a multiple choice. So how many pounds of carrots do you think we use every day? It's 75 pounds, that is correct. It's around 33 kilos. How about onions? 100 pounds, that's 45 kilos. What about bananas? 160 pounds, about 72 kilos. Okay, here is where it's gonna get difficult. Chicken. How much chicken do you think we go through in a single day? Almost 500 pounds. That is 230 kilos. 500 pounds. All right, we do 40 pounds of coffee, 80 pounds of tomatoes, and 35 pounds of, can you guess it? No, rice. Every day of our cruise. And it's all, sorry?
No rice, no power.
I know, no rice, no power. And it's all stored in facilities like these. We have dry storage for things that don't need refrigeration. We have cool storage, and then we have freezers. Dozens and dozens of freezers that keep everything fresh and cold. Here's Ronald. He's a member of our culinary team.
When you count all of the refrigerator, we have 400 to 500, and that's all only in the main galley. We have a big galley in deck 2, and we have the bigger galley in deck 3, and we have the kitchens in all the cafe.
Right, we have so many kitchens or galleys on board. Chef, tell our guests how many people work here just to feed them.
Okay, any guess? So we have around like 200 people are working in the food kitchen department. And out of 200, 140 people are working in the kitchen department.
140 cooks?
Yes.
Right?
And the other 60 is the GGS. So they do the hardest part of taking care and maintaining the kitchen clean and tidy all the time.
So by the way, do you know how many cooks it takes to screw in a light bulb? 140, right? One to do it and the other 139 to tell them how they did it in their last restaurants. Alright, that's an old restaurant joke. I'm from the Netherlands, I didn't really get it, but I'm glad you got it. But I want you to tell us about a place that I guess most of our guests don't even imagine exists. Tell us about our bakery.
Oh, bakery, everyone's favorite, right? Okay, yes, we do have a bakery, a separate kitchen for the bakery department. So it is all the way on the B deck, down level. And yes, it's a 24-hour kitchen. We have a team of 7 members working in the bakeries. You know, when you talk about bakery, you know, most of the questions everybody asks me, is all your bread is fresh, homemade, frozen, ready-made? Yes, it is fresh. Every single bread, whatever we are doing, It's a freshly homemade. Starts from the bread, pizza doors, burger buns, hot dog buns. You can just name it. So it's a 24 hours kitchen all the way. We start from the morning till the night. Never stop baking.
It's actually before you all wake up. But yes, those were all made in our bakery. And I just want to share a story we heard because it turns out our guests aren't the only ones looking for something sweet in the middle of the night.
I work as a night manager on the night shift, and there was this ritual some of the middle managers and managers would do, because we all knew the pastry chef who would take out the cinnamon rolls at 4-5 in the morning, and we would walk into the bakery at about 4:30. It would be a daily ritual for the night team to have a cinnamon roll and coffee. So it's a ritual which is passed on from team to team.
Now, don't go looking for the bakery in the middle of the night, but maybe next time you're in the Lido, take a look at all their hard work. And all of those pastries, and don't just look, load up. You only live once, right? Thank you, Chef Vijay, for your team and all their hard work. And could we not live without you?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Jeff. Thank you, Thomas. That was amazing. All right, so all our foods that we talked about. Want to guess how much is left over at the end of the cruise? Well, here's the amazing part. After we've loaded all those pallets of food, at the end of a cruise, only 2 pallets are over. Two pallets are left over. And that's simply amazing. We are relentless about reducing food waste and making sure that we don't order more than we need. And that's for a very good reason. Think about it. Let's say we're in the middle of a cruise and we run out of romaine lettuce. Now, it wouldn't happen, but let us say it did. Well, we can't just run to a store, right? We have to wait for our next port of call and hope that they have the lettuce there for us. So it is a ton of responsibility.
Aside from their key cards, and their phones, jackets. Oh, jackets are a good one. Reading glasses.
Somebody lost their teeth, and somebody's looking for it, and he was like, "Have you seen my
Your teeth?"
I think I know what you're looking for." Isn't this it?
I have more than 10.
Oh, really?
Yes, more than 10.
One stateroom carry 22 suitcases. So they brought everything from their home on the ship. Like they are moving from home to the ship.
I don't know about you guys, but I've like one, over 6 months. Toiletries, which they always forget. Toothbrush, the basic. Or a charger. That's also a good idea. Your charger.
Underwear. Yeah.
Well, let's see. What's your thoughts about the cruise in general? Like 14 days versus 7 days. Is it too long? Is it just right?
14 days went just as fast as 7 days did.
Yeah, I think so.
And the Alaska cruise, all the different ports, you got dropped off at a port, and by the time that the all aboard happened, you kind of felt like you've seen things.
I've seen it all.
Yeah, but here it's like scratching the surface of the area.
Yeah, a lot of cities.
So this going on a cruise here in Europe is like scratching the surface. It's like, here's what it looks like, then you can decide if one day you'd like to return and actually really do that area. Because everywhere we got dropped off except Wisby, we could not, there was no way we could dream of completing any more than 2 or 3 things in the 8 hours or whatever they allotted you at port time.
Mm-hmm.
So excuse me, I'm still sick. Yeah, there's so much to do. There's times that, and it's so big that a lot of the times we were only able to do one thing. Like, you'd set your goal on one thing, and by the time we got back, it would be like, if we were lucky, if there was things right in that vicinity, like really close to it, we're able to fit them in. But because we tend to do a lot of walking, and we don't buy a lot of bus passes or any of that stuff. We did once and we regretted that. We spend a lot of time walking, but for us we enjoy that because it gives us a chance to slow down and really take in what we're seeing. So the walk, we get to breathe the air, we get to see the sights, watch the birds, whatever have be. We actually get to, experience that. And to us, that it feels like we're experiencing the area much better when we have to slow down and walk it.
Yeah, in the European cities, a lot of the cities had metros and bus lines and all kinds of stuff. They were so big that there's no way you could see very much of it.
Yeah. And,
So how would you compare the radiance of the sea versus the Rotterdam?
Well, they both have their goods and bads. For me, the stateroom in Holland America, we like the modernness
feel and look to everything.
Of this ship, and I think it might be newer than the Radiance of the Sea too.
I think this is probably one of the newest ships there is.
It's Rotterdam number 7.
Yeah.
So it feels modern and spacious.
About the same amount of room. Feels like Sandy was saying that the bathroom in the other ship was bigger, but she actually liked this smaller bathroom better.
Yeah, and mainly I liked the shower better. The glass doors, the place where you can put your leg up and shave, it's better than having a cloth curtain which sticks to you all the time. This one, you didn't have that problem. The water pressure was really great here too.
And one difference was with the sound. In this ship, you couldn't hear people's toilets flushing. You couldn't hear anybody talking or their TVs or anything like that. But you could hear their door slamming. Whenever the outside door was slamming, you could hear that.
Or
maybe the front door.
Yeah, doors slamming a lot.
But in the other ship, you could hear the toilets flushing. You could hear people talking out in the halls. Maybe people next door if they had their TV up too loud. Which kind of was a benefit in some way because we could hear the ship announcements better.
And that brings you to another point, is the staterooms in the Alaska, in the Radiance of the Sea, they had a volume button and an on-off button to where if you wanted to hear the announcements, you could, and if you wanted to turn them down at whatever volume you wanted to hear it at, you could do that. Here, you don't have that. If you hear something that's happening in the hall, you have to quickly turn on your TV, find the bow camera, and that is when it'll produce sound in your room for what's happening.
And even that took a while to figure out. We had asked for help on how to hear the announcements, and even the stateroom person didn't know. Like the instructions they gave us, we wouldn't have worked. It wasn't good instructions on how to get to the camera or get to the sound. So
it was something we had to figure out, and it's not ideal because again, if you don't hear it, or you when you do hear it, it's already 15-30 seconds in. You spend another 15-30 seconds trying to get your TV on and on the right channel. By that time, it's ended, and then they do the same announcement again in Dutch, and we don't understand that. So basically, we miss half the announcements. And I really like that the Radiance of the Sea has that option to turn it on in your room and listen to it in your room or not. So I like that option. I also like that the sliding doors, you could put them at whatever you wanted and closed it.
Leave it open, which these doors you really can't leave open. You can prop it open, but it's not ideal. It doesn't work very good.
It's very heavy, so when you go out there, everything slams. I mean, you can hear everybody's door slamming. It's a very heavy door, and it's made to close all the time.
Yeah.
So,
which if you know about cruise ships, that's one of the problems sometimes they'll have is where people leave their door open, and then somebody opens the other door. That creates a big windstorm, and I guess that's what they're trying to alleviate. But it does take away some of the enjoyment of being on a cruise ship.
Yeah, I like the other cruise. I like to have it open sometimes. And we did have a problem with our AC panel in here, which they did fix today. But when when you're having a problem with your AC and you kind of want to open your door to get some cool air in, that was kind of hard to do. So, that's a small difference. Another small difference was they didn't have a movie theater on this boat. So they offered movie theater days, which you'd go out to where the pool is, and it was really cool. They gave you blankets and put little pillows on the
lawn chair.
The lounge chairs. There's good and bads to their app. That's a whole nother section too.
Let's finish up with the room. One of the other big differences with the room was the bed. Here in the Rotterdam, instead of giving you a big bed, they give you two beds joined together, which they must have them strapped together somehow, but you still feel that other bed is there. And I'm sure it's better for them, like they can reconfigure the room different ways and stuff. But as far as us, we couldn't get as close as we normally would, and it didn't feel as comfortable either.
I did notice that seems to be a common theme here in Europe.
Yeah.
Because excuse me, all of the different museums we would visit, like all these beds, they're made out of two beds. And they're always two beds pushed together. So the first Airbnb we stayed in, it was the same. Here it's the same. So I think it's just a regional thing. Like if you have anything bigger than, a full-size bed, they just push two full-size beds together. Or twin-size beds together. They push two twins together and that's your bed. So, I like the bed better in the radiance of the sea because of that.
Yeah.
But, is that it for the room?
I think, everything else is minor. There's, some small differences with the TV and the storage and things, but nothing.
I like the TV better in here.
Yeah, it's not that much different that it matters. They both had plenty of storage and plenty of spaces to work on and everything. So, not worth mentioning.
Yeah, the closet organization system was about the same. Lots of drawers. You had a desk we could work on.
Well, we should cover the app before I forget. Well, there's two good tips I think we have for travelers, and the best.
Well, before we get to the tips, we'll tell you about the app. So the app, for me, didn't work as well as it did with the Royal Caribbean app. To me, was better.
Yeah, it's more solid, more robust. Didn't crash as much, and didn't tell you were offline when you were really online.
Right. So there was just functionality was one. Number two was, when you come on cruises as a couple, of course it has to go on one credit card. It's never going to go on both. So, it goes on Scott's credit card, and he had access to everything, which I didn't have access to anything until I actually charged something to my card. And even though I didn't really, I had to pay for something. It was the beer you ordered, right? Yeah. So Scott ordered a beer.
The lobster.
Oh no, the lobster. Yeah. Scott ordered the lobster at dinner and just gave him my card, just whatever one he pulled out of his pocket. And if he didn't pull out my card, then we would have never known this was a thing.
Yeah, we would have thought you could never get access.
Yeah, I would have thought I would never had access because I was not the paying person or whatever. But as soon as that charge went through, I had access to everything. I could see the stateroom bill. I could everything.
Order food,
yeah, from the apps. Royal Caribbean didn't have that. So you can make orders for like the pizza place and the dive bar the dive-in burger place that they have here. You could do all of that from the app, and it tells you when it's ready to pick up, and you can just go pick it up. That is an awesome feature of the app, but it has to work for it to be awesome, right? So
we use that feature a lot, almost once a day.
yeah. Scott's have to get his hot dogs almost every day.
Yeah.
But when it comes to some of the things that didn't work out for the app is that you could only see what you were going to eat for dinner on the day of. And this is where one of the tips come in. They should Royal Caribbean show you the whole meal plan for the entire week. Because if they did, you would be able to choose different venues that you wanted to eat at if you didn't like what main dining was having. But you could never make that decision until you knew what they were serving, and you had to wait till that day to actually do that. And to me, that's something they could improve on when it comes to the app, is put the menu out beforehand. And
yeah, that was a big one. Well, the other one is a tip that I've never seen on any other video. We watched a lot of cruise videos before we took our cruise, and I've never heard anybody say this tip, and it's pretty neat, I think. And so what you can do is, as long as you're connected to the ship's Wi-Fi, you can go to the Google search page and do a Google search, and you'll get the results. The problem is you can't click on any of the results. But if your answer that you're looking for is in the Google search results page, you get whatever you need. We use that a lot to answer questions that we had about the ship, or what city we're going to next, even the prices of things that might be coming up our way, and options for booking different things. You get all the answers usually in the Google search results page, and that's good enough. It's almost like having internet. So if that's all you need, you don't need the internet package. That's pretty good.
Yeah, we didn't get the internet package last time either. But you know, if you don't want the internet package, you don't have to be worried about it. Every single port, at the port center that you get off at, they have Wi-Fi available for you to use freely.
Yeah, check emails or...
Yeah, so if you're fine
things.
not having email at night after you board the ship, and you know the next day you'll get off at a port, you'll have internet at the port the whole time the ship's there. And then when you're at sea days, you won't have any, but there's only one sea day. There's always only one sea day separating something, so you're never on like 3 or 4 sea days or anything like that. So port day, possibly a sea day, and then another port day, or port day, sea day. You'll always have, you know, an opportunity to get on the internet. So if the internet isn't as important, then neither is the internet package. You know, they got a library here. You can get books, and there's a lot to do. Believe me, the schedules you get every day, they've got something happening like every half an hour to an hour, all day, every day, until like 10 o'clock at night.
And on this cruise, we didn't really take advantage of all those different things that they were having. We only went to a few things. We really relaxed a lot more than the last time. We were trying to film every single thing and go into all the different auctions and things. And this time, we just did what we wanted to do, and it was a lot more enjoyable, I think.
Yeah, you know, the other cruise we learned a lot. We learned so much that we already know we're not going to buy any art, but we wanted to see what one was like. We did see what one was like. They're probably all pretty similar. We don't have the capacity to bring home the free artwork they're going to give you, or the free jewelry they'll give you when you go to the jewelry shows, or any of that stuff. So we didn't do all of those things because we really don't have the room to bring back any of the stuff that they'll give us anyway. Yeah. So, you know, we kind of avoided those, but it gave us free time. It gave us free time to watch movies in our stateroom, eat more, rest more, and it's kind of good because, you know, I ended up getting sick, which is kind of strange because I'll tell you, this ship, they were washing it from top to bottom every day. I mean, almost on the hour, every hour, you'll see people washing the walls. I meant the walls, everything.
Yeah, almost everywhere you went, you'd see somebody washing. And then we heard that whenever we were on shore, they were sanitizing the whole ship top to bottom. So like
they're doing drills and other things. So yeah, it's surprising that I had gotten sick, but you know, that brings me to another thing. So about them serving food versus Royal Caribbean's self-serve. You know, I thought it would be great to have somebody always handling everything. But as you notice in every restaurant, not everybody handles things appropriately. So just because you have a pair of gloves on doesn't mean you should touch every single thing. So, you know, if you're touching people's stuff and then you still have gloves on, you're touching people's stuff and then you're touching the food and then you touch something else, or you fix your shoe and you touch something else. Now you've touched like a million things with this glove. It doesn't exactly make that glove any cleaner, it's clean for you because you're being protected from in the inside, but whatever you're touching, which is what I'm eating and whatever, that's touched 1,000 things before it's come to me. So I kind of like the fact of self-service. That way I can clean my hands before, clean my hands after, and then I kind of know what things my food has touched or whatnot. Another thing I didn't like was that I always had to ask. I had to ask for water, I had to ask for lemonade, I had to ask for iced tea, I had to ask for coffee. So I always had to wait in a line.
And sometimes people would cut in line, there's always, before on the other ship, we could just go up and get whatever we wanted. It was a few seconds.
Yeah.
Now we have to wait in lines, and, there's always going to be people that try to cut in line, or, so it makes your dining experience seem like it's taking forever because you're waiting around forever.
Right, yeah. And the other one, when I wanted to sample a little bit of everything, when I didn't want a lot of things, here I'd have to stand in a line, and then it would put like
too much,
a little bit too much, right? And I didn't want to sit there and ask for a little bit of everything, because I didn't want to take up all of their time. They had other people to serve, so I kind of like being able to serve myself, where I can just grab a few things, try them, decide if I want to get more of it or not. And I felt like I wasted less that way, because if they put something on my plate and I ended up not liking it, then I was wasting it. So I kind of like the self-service better. It gives me or anybody else better opportunity to try what you want and get less of maybe what you don't want.
And I now that you're mentioning it, I kind of think that they weren't really prepared for doing it this way. Because one station that makes me think that way is the omelet station. There'll be a long line of about 8 people getting omelets, and they're making them one at a time. Well, that could take a really long time, like a half an hour. Whereas on the other ship, they had an omelet station that they were well prepared for, and there was a guy there writing down numbers. They could be working on like many omelets, like 4 or 5 at the same time, and then they just call your number when it's ready. Well, that's much more efficient than one at a time. And gosh, there's a lot of days where I wanted to get an omelet, but I just knew that Sandy would be done eating before I got my omelet, so I wasn't gonna get one.
Yeah, and they have no real line structure either. So they have this huge counter, and I've stood at one end of the counter where the thing I wanted was, but they wouldn't serve you at that. So you'd have to stand through everybody. If you just wanted a piece of bread here, you'd have to stand through everybody who got their orders in for whatever before you could ask them for a slice of bread down here. Yeah. And you weren't allowed to touch, even though the slice of bread was right in front of your face, and you just wanted to grab it because it'd just take you a second. That wasn't allowed. So you just stand in this line where everybody was ordering their eggs and blah, blah, blah. And you'd wait and wait and wait just to ask for a slice of bread. And sometimes they miss you because some people will cut in from the other side. And it was just like, it is kind of chaotic. And
they never really got it perfect throughout the whole cruise.
Yeah, but I still enjoyed it. The food was good. I like that they had little themed nights, like in Germany, they had German food as a specialty.
Had a lot more special events, but as far as the food in general goes, they're probably both equal. They're both really good.
They didn't have lobster night.
Oh yeah, that's one knock against Royal Caribbean.
Not a knock against them.
Yeah, that's one of the benefits of going on Royal Caribbean. Not only could you see the menu ahead, you knew when lobster night was coming. You gotta prepare for that, and you could basically have unlimited lobster that night, and that was really nice.
Here, the charges are $16 per person every day for your service charges.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll change. It already went up this last year. It'll probably keep going up.
Yeah, so It's $16 per person. Royal Caribbean was $15 at the time that we went.
Yeah. And that's per day, so 14-day cruise, that adds up.
Yeah. I think that's it.
Well, did you want to say any more about the ship? Like, one difference she already kind of
It's a
alluded
smaller
to
ship.
was on this ship they don't have a movie theater. On the other ship they had like 3 movie theaters.
2.
And they had better shops over there too.
Yeah. They had like a general store. They didn't quite have a general store here. I just saw a bunch of places where you could buy jewelry and, clothing and all of that, but not like things like you might need like aspirin or sick medicine. I could probably have went to the health center for that, but anything else you gotta add?
As far as cruise ship versus cruise ship, Sandy was asking me which one's better. I'm saying it doesn't matter. These 2 companies are 2 of the top companies. The ships that we went on were some of the best ships. It doesn't matter. What matters is the destination. If you want to go to Alaska or wherever you want to go, just go to where you want to go, and at least what we've seen so far is, it doesn't matter how you get there.
Any and all of these cruises are an absolute blessing. They're all gonna have their goods and their bads, but to be on one of them, it's just been amazing, and it is one of the best experiences ever to wake up in a new spot almost every morning and have hand and foot service basically their whole time. Food always available, drinks always available, people always available, healthcare always available, everything's always available. And I don't know, there's probably no better way to travel, I think. This is it's awesome. And any which way you do it, any cruise line, I'm sure, Celebrity, any of them out there, they're all going to be a wonderful experience.
Yeah. And both in Alaska and here, the days just go by so fast. And you're doing so much. On the shore excursion days, you can barely remember it. It's just going by so quickly. And that's why I'm thankful for Sandy to put in all the hard work it takes to make a record of our memories, and we can look back at it long after they've all blended together, and we'll be able to remember what we did. It'll be awesome.
Well, if it wasn't for Scott booking these things, we wouldn't be on them. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, that's it. Before I forget, this is what inside the closets look like. That was Scott's side. This is my side. And we have where the safe is and some extra storage. We have a refrigerator. Don't touch any of that stuff, it's expensive. And some drawers. And they give me some blankets down here in case you need it.
That's for sitting on the side.
Yeah. They were supposed to get beach towels in here. They keep talking about it, but I've never found any.
Maybe they're under the bed.
Oh, the last dinner. The last dinner.
You can be on the bridge as long as you do not talking. If there's only one person on the bridge,
I will have the trio of salmon.
but it is very nice to do. But probably it must be possible in the States. You look for
Oh boy, I don't know what to get. Wild mushroom strudel? That sounds good. And maybe that. Teat beef tender. That's for dessert. Maybe an apple strudel.
I'm going to get the Thai spring roll, and then the crab carbonara, and then baked Alaska.
Here's my trio of salmon.
This looks like a winner. Thai spring roll.
Oh, one lonely spring roll on there for you. You're used to two.
Really good.
Really good.
Crispy, tasty. I'll give you some. It's better than most.
Yeah.
What do you got there? I didn't even see. I can smell it. Like a minty.
Like fried cilantro.
Alright, so you have 3 different kinds of salmon? Is that what it was?
Yeah, I guess it's smoked and something and something. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be good because their salmon is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to try some? That was smoked. This one's pickled. It's what?
Crab.
That's right. That's like a sweet smoked.
Oh, let me try that one. Let me try the sweet smoked one. This is crab linguine.
Isn't the United States?
It's really taking
Mushroom strudel.
All right, mushroom strudel. Strudel.
Paul says that this is a German dish, not a Dutch.
Strudel is a German word. No, we never see the. You didn't try the pea soup, I hope, yesterday. Okay, very wise decision.
Why?
We tried. It's not Dutch pea soup.
Oh. It's interesting and it's spicy. Whoa. You're gonna like this.
We got some baked Alaska here. And she got apple strudel.
So tonight on the world stage is Stephen Barry. So this
today,
is something cool they do. They give you a sticker to put in their journeys book so that you always know what you did and when you did it.
And I guess the goal is to fill up the book.
And there's our captain. That is our trip.
Pretty cool.
Number 1. Thanks, Holland America.
Time and again I was trying to say all I want you to know. If I love you, towers and come in an easy way. Round and circles I
Now, my name is Stephen Barry and I come from the most wonderful, the most beautiful, the most gorgeous, the most incredible place in this whole wide world, a place called County Kerry in Ireland. And it's full of mountains and rivers and lakes and trees and forests and oceans and authors and poets and sailors and world-class phenomenal lovers. Now folks, as it was the last night, you're going to hear some music you know and love, you're going to hear some songs that are brand new to you, and I have put a few of your requests into the second show. And one of the things I got asked was, can you sing an Irish song? Can you sing some folk music? Can you sing some Celtic music? And so I said, absolutely, of course. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sing a beautiful, gorgeous little song here, which is quite pertinent and quite relevant for the night that's in it. It's about traveling around the world, but always knowing how special your home is and that connection you have with home. And it's that feeling I'm sure some of you will have tomorrow where you're sad to be having to cook your own meals and not be able to just drop the towels on the ground and you come back and they're magically folded into swans. But there's something special about going home, and there's something special about your home and where you've built your home and your family and all that, and that's what this song is. It's a beautiful, lovely number about that. So we're going to jump on the old piano, and we're going to sing that one, So We Are, and it's a nice little song. So here we go. It's very simple, very short, but it's gorgeous. So I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry to all of those who have to stare at my back for the next 2.5 minutes. I'll try and flex it for you. Thank you. You can tell me how my neck looks afterwards. It's not that kind of show. Tragic Mike. Anyway. Well, I don't know if you can see changes that have come over me. These past few days have been afraid I'll drift away. I've been telling all stories, singing songs, made me think about where I've come from. That's the reason why I feel so far away today. But let me tell you that I love you. I think about you all the time. Caledonia calling me, and I'm going home. If I should become a stranger, it will make me more than sad. Caledonia has been everything I ever had. I've moved and I've kept on moving, proved the points I need proving. Lost the friends I needed losing, found others on the way. I've kissed the girls and I've left them crying. Stolen dreams, there's no denying. I've partied hard with my coattails flying somewhere in the rain. Let me tell you that I love you. I think about you all the time. Caledonia, you're calling me. I'm going home. If I should become a stranger, it would make me more than sad. Caledonia has been everything I ever had. Let me tell you that I love you. And I think about you all the time. Caledonia, you're calling me, and I'm going home. Thank you very much. I promise I'll do the next one focused in this direction. I'm sorry about that. You paid nothing for the tickets anyway, so it's fine. You can't get any refunds. Right, folks, one of the questions I often get asked is how did I end up on these beautiful ships, on these beautiful stages, singing these beautiful songs for you beautiful people, floating through the sea towards Amsterdam. And, bless you, and this is an honest and true story, folks. I finished school and I went off to university and I trained to become a teacher. Any teachers in the audience? Yeah, 2 teachers. Cruises are expensive, if that makes sense. Yeah. I finished my teaching degree and I moved to the UK and I worked for 5 years in a secondary school, or a high school as you would say, teaching in Essex. Anyone from Essex in? Cruises can't be that expensive. Okay, fair enough. One person from Essex. Where are you from? You're going to have to shout it louder, I'm sorry. Harwich. I was in Romford. Do you know Romford? Yeah, of course. So I taught for 5 years, so I did, folks. And my fellow teachers will empathize with me here and agree with me, okay? Yes, you are educating the students on, reading, writing, arithmetic, and equipping them with the necessary skills to navigate their way through this crazy world. But in a lot of ways, they're the ones teaching you, isn't that correct? Because they're the next generation, they're the young people. Look at these young people down here, look at them. Young people everywhere, they'll learn so much more than we'll ever know. They're the new, they're the fresh, not you, you're not the young person I was pointing to. I was pointing at her, obviously. Come on. She used to be, that's even meaner than what I said. Can you put the spotlight on them there, please? The 2 just there. Absolutely sold your bigger sister down the river. There, I saved it, okay? Anyway, the young people are the new generation. They're the next thing, they're the fresh, they're the exciting, they're the new, and they're the ones teaching you. And one of the things that I learned every day from those young people, in those 5 years of teaching, it was reinforced every day when I would walk through those school gates, and every day when I would leave the school at the end of my working day. The thing I learned from those young people was that I really, really hate children. Sorry. And if I could do anything to avoid having to be a teacher for the next 40 years of my life, I would. So what I did was I bought a little speaker, a little microphone, and I went to the streets and I started singing. I started busking on the subways, on the metros, at the tube stations in central London, outside Covent Garden, Trafalgar Square. I started busking, I started singing, and I started singing the songs I love, which is the old musicals, the old classics. And you'd be amazed, people would be coming out of a subway at 9:30 in the morning on their way to a meeting, and the last thing they would expect to hear is Carousel being belted out at the top of the escalator. But when I was busking, I would always get asked for songs from one particular musical, which was Miserable Les, right? Genuinely, the amount of times I got asked for that. So what I'm going to do now, folks, I'm going to do a song from Les Mis. I'm going to avoid the ones that are always done, right? Everyone always does, there's a few that everyone always does, I Dream the Dream, and everyone always does Dream the Dream, a song about a narcoleptic. You don't want to be hearing that, right? And Bring Him Home is a song about someone who buys a sat-nav for their son for Christmas, right? That's the worst joke in the show. Anyway, so I'm going to do a gorgeous song from that. I'm going to do Stars from Les Mis, if anyone knows that one. It's an absolutely lovely song. If you don't know it, it's great. It's big and dramatic and has a high note at the end. What more do you need? So, whenever you're ready there, please, Carlo. Here we go. And a big high note. It's glorious, honestly. It's fabulous, right? And then I go to leave the stage. You start losing your mind, Michael. Honestly, you've thrown all your clothes on the stage. It's a whole incident, yeah, right? And I'm so moved by your incredible passion and desire, I come back humbly, very humble, and I do one, shoes, everything, the lot, yeah. And then I come back and I do one more, right? And invariably it's an even better song than the one we just did, right? So that's the concept, that's what we go to, okay? You're up to speed. Fantastic, right. So, thank you. One of the questions I get asked is, How and why musical theatre? Why did I get into musicals when there's so many great music and great songs and all that kind of stuff knocking around the place? And this is the honest truth. I went to university to study PE and English literature. I did a master's in English, I did an English degree. I do not use it at any stage, any day of my life now. It's completely useless. So if they tell you go study, ignore them. Do whatever you want. Straight onto TikTok 12 hours a day. That's the key to success. That is not official advice from Holland America Cruises. My viewpoints do not reflect the brand of my employer. Let's just say, no. So I went off and studied this, right? And I used to sing at house parties because I was doing loads of sports. I had no confidence, but I realized and figured out that if I'd sang sad, slow songs at 2 a.m. in the morning when everyone is a bit tipsy, women who otherwise would never look at me would give me the googly eyes, right? So my friend noticed and she said, look, will you come down and do a musical? We've got a musical society in university, will you do a musical? And I said, absolutely not. I'm a raging tower of testosterone and masculinity. I play sports, you would not catch me near the theatre, or musicals, I am a man. And she said, well, we currently have 80 female members and 4 male members of the musical society. And I did some quick maths. And I said, well, I've always loved musical theatre, and I've simply been waiting for an opportunity to try. And being a naive and immature and insecure young man, as often is the case, you are going to meet loads of them for about the next 10 years, right? I told the lads I was only going back because it was full of gorgeous women who could sing and dance and all this absolute rubbish. The minute I walked through those doors and they were doing West Side Story, and from the second I heard that overture and I saw the dance and I heard the singing, I was hooked. I was absolutely hooked. And I loved it, and it's been a love affair ever since, and I'm so glad because my life went in a completely different direction. So I'm going to finish, wink, with the first song that I ever sang with musicals, and it's a lovely full circle moment to be able to come here and sing it for you. And it's just a beautiful song, it's a beautiful love song. It'll still be here in 1,000 years' time, and the lyrics will still be magical. So thank you so much for having me this evening. Here's Somewhere from West Side Story to finish. Here we go. Arlo, whenever you're ready, please. There's a place for us.
That's Jim and Diane.
I wanted your
Cheap boy, the good one.
Here you go.
It wasn't me, I didn't drink it.
It wasn't cheap wine.
It wasn't me, I didn't
I
drink it.
drank your cheap wine.
That's all cheap. Thank you very much. Thanks a million. Way to ruin the picture. Thank you, son. Thanks for coming out. Thank you very much. Oh, look at this tiny.
Backwards.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Guess what we're doing now?
It's 9 o'clock on the last night, and this is when we made our reservation for one of the dining facilities. We actually have some ship credit, so we're gonna.
I'm not hungry.
Yeah, I'm not super hungry either, but we have seen a video by Cruiserman, and he said this is the best thing to eat on this ship, so we can give it a try. What are you doing? On YouTube we saw a video of this ship, this dining hall, and we are going to eat the best thing that was recommended. What are you doing?
What are you doing?
What? You're
what
keeping
are you
your cooking.
doing?
That'd be you.
This is our dining night. Here we go.
I feel full. The smell makes me feel even full.
See? Why don't we cancel?
No, we should do it.
Very nice.
I'll push it.
Tomatoes.
Spicy soft shell crab. Yes.
Oh, you should get it.
Oh, Szechuan shrimp. Penang. Did you see that?
That's why we're here. That's the number one thing that he said was the best.
I like Dan noodles.
Alright, get it.
Yuzu cheesecake. Ooh, Japanese mochi ice cream.
Yeah.
So you're getting?
I'm getting the Penang.
Okay. Guess I'm getting the Dan noodles.
Just for that. We traveled up 2 flights. Alright, so what did you order?
Dan noodles.
And what else did you get with it?
Eggplant.
Eggplant?
Yeah.
And it sounded like mushrooms too might be coming.
Maybe. But I'm not sure.
Yeah. And for me, I got the Penang curry, and I might be getting, I'm getting white rice, and I might be getting bok choy. Again, I'm not sure. We'll see what comes. And we'll be happy whenever it gets here.
All we've been doing is non-stop eating.
Yeah, but this is it. You're not going to eat again for 3 months. So fill up. Put it somewhere where you can digest it slowly.
Yeah, I guess. Right here. So I can digest it slowly.
Yeah.
All on.
Yeah, we put on the weight. Now we're going to go on Naked and Afraid.
Yeah,
and
lose it all.
Lose it all. Let the games begin. This smells really good. The plates are super hot. This is the Penang curry. It looks appropriate. A lot of places we've been going lately, it's like too thick. This looks right. And I've got just plain rice. Dan noodles. What do you think? They look just like Dan noodles I remember from the world's grossest.
They don't?
No, I'm just saying. No. To me, it just was so different from anything I'd ever had before. It wasn't gross.
I'm looking for the peanut butter smell.
She loved it.
I can't smell anything. I'm still stuffy nose. Here's eggplant though.
One of our surprises came true, and one of them didn't. So here we go. That's good. I was kind of hoping I wouldn't get too much to eat. What do you want to say about that before you go for it?
Wow, that's hot.
Yeah, all the plates are super hot. This food's gonna stay warm for a long time. We're gonna take a long time to eat it. It's our last meal, and after this, we gotta pack and go to sleep. So
I don't know. We'll try this in a couple seconds.
Okay. All right, lady.
She told us we're not allowed to talk anymore, that we have to eat before it gets cold. That's exactly what an Asian would say. I love it. No talk, you eat.
You talk too much.
You talk too much. Eat. The spice level's good.
Oh, nice.
The spice level's good.
Mine's gonna be trouble. I gotta be walking around tomorrow. I may not have access to all the facilities I need for this level of spice.
Oh, I forgot you get like that. It's good. Although I think the place in California, the Szechuan restaurant, was better. But this is not bad.
How's the peppercorn level?
I don't think it's Szechuan.
Oh, really?
I don't taste the Szechuan peppercorn. Although maybe after a few bites, I'll start to taste it. But
You get your taste buds back. Ooh, nice.
no, the cops. Because I'm sick.
Oh, I thought it was because your food is too spicy.
No.
What do we got here? I think there's an eggplant in there. It looks like everything's in here. All the vegetables. It looks good.
different.
Hello. Good.
Yes.
Good.
Oh, sure. Want to have them take a picture of us both?
On this?
Yeah. It's their own thing.
That's that's what I feel about mine too.
There might be peppercorns in this. The heat comes from little seeds that are in here, but it's not like the whole sauce isn't hot.
It wasn't cooked in it. It was like flavored.
Thrown in, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's good, but it's not. It's like a level 3 out of 5 spicy, and it's probably.
And you got the very spicy.
Yeah, compared to Thai tip and Albuquerque, it's like a 2 compared to a 5.
And remember, this was your cruiser man's best.
Well, not a lot of people have had the best. But if you ever get to Albuquerque, Thai tip, the best.
The service is awesome.
Yeah, the service is awesome. Everybody's super friendly. You can tell they really want to give you a great level of service. They care.
Maybe it's a regional taste thing. Like this is what European people expect for a Szechuan or Asian tasting. But for a true Asian,
yeah, Sandy's Dan Dan noodles was, to me, really tasty. Like that, it's got the flavors that I like in it.
it's got the flavor. It's got a good texture.
Yeah, everything seemed great about it. They're probably just like everything on the ship, handmade noodles probably. They make all their own breads and everything. I'm sure they make their own noodles. And this Penang is really lemony, citrusy, and it's not one of the better ones I've ever had.
So I know we're not really hungry. By the way, this eggplant. Is excellent. This restaurant's called Nami Sushi. Now, Scott ordered a Penang, which is Thai, and I ordered Dan Dan noodles, which is Chinese. So that's not giving it a fair shot. So because its name revolves around sushi, we'll probably order a sushi and give that a fair go, because that would be fair. So we'll see. I'll get back to you later.
All right.
So yellowtail nigiri. And salmon sashimi. And then that'll be it. Thank you so much. No rolls. Thank you. Here's the fair shot.
Fair shot. That's a lot. But I like a lot.
You almost had it. He's dancing. That's a good sign.
Melt in your mouth.
No, that's what you want. So when it comes to sushi, to you, do they live up to their name?
This is a great place. Now, what do you think? You're the expert. I'm not an expert. That looks like a really nice piece, though.
That is a beautiful piece, which I can't smell, so. Aww. I will have it without wasabi, so I can taste the fish. That is a beautiful piece of salmon.
All
I'll tell you,
right.
this ship, everything salmon has been beautiful on this ship, so
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
We've had some really amazing salmon dishes.
Excellent. Name sushi, come eat sushi.
All right.
Well, if you're a true Asian food enthusiast.
Yeah. Sandy's still eating.
Oh my god, though. And then she sold Scott on 2 appetizers, which he then ordered. So
Yeah.
I think we're going back with like lobster tempura and soft shell crab tempura.
Well, it's our last night, and we told her how great it was, and she's like, well, you should have tried this other thing. Well, okay. What can we do?
How great the sushi was. How great the sushi was.
Yeah.
By the way, this is fresh wasabi, and it is so good. So good. Slippery. Good thing I'm not eating for 3 months.
That's right. Here is the bill for all that deliciousness that we didn't need.
Yeah, we didn't need.
But it was awesome.
And in case you wanted to know, this is what's
our
not
takeaway.
ordered to take away.
This is Sandy's half, the bigger half, and this is my half. Luckily, the smaller half.
Yeah, right. Anyway, look at this cool little takeout bento box. That's really awesome. I found it. There's the robes. And the whole trip, I had wondered where they were. Well, if anybody takes this trip, there they are. They're in the closet on the ground.
After leaving Aarhus, Denmark, the circle gets completed after another sea day, and we arrive back where we started in Amsterdam, Netherlands, on day 14. Upon arriving in Amsterdam, we begin a new journey, one in which we must be our own pilots and planners, as we begin over 90 more days working from and living in Europe.
All right, here we go. Last day, saying goodbye to Amsterdam, headed to Brussels, Belgium, and time to start our new diet.
Yeah.
Like the cruise director said, it's the start of a new diet because it's no longer 24 hours of eating.
Yeah.
So, let's go. Goodbye, room.
Goodbye, room.
Bye, Rotterdam.
Saturday. Guess we gotta do our own stuff from now on.
Hey, fix your bed.
What? They're gonna put all this in the laundry.
Shush, fix your bed.
Okay. We can't have them thinking we slept here. Yeah.
We bought ourselves single train ticket to Rotterdam, and it's at $2.60 a person.
One-way ticket.
One-way ticket.
13A, I think.
14.
Naar de bus. This way. Now I'm lost. Let's see, where? This way. Walking around and we found it. Flixbus.
We can go down this way.
Oh, by the way, look at these cool rails. They're for people with bikes. So you can walk your bike down while you take the stairs.